The fatal shooting of 37-year-old ICU nurse Alex Pretty has shocked the nation, just weeks after the fatal shooting of Renee Good, also by a federal agent, and a state apparatus that has asked the federal government to withdraw their agents, who they argue are making their citizens less safe.
If it was the intention of Donald Trump to make an example of Minnesota, then I'm damn proud of the example that the world's seeing. We believe in law and order in this state, we believe in peace, and we believe that Donald Trump needs to pull these 3,000 untrained agents out of Minnesota before they kill another person, and we're up here telling another story of a Minnesotan just trying to live their life without the interference.
Before investigations had properly started into the killings, federal officials sought to frame Pretty as a domestic terrorist who had a concealed weapon and intent on doing harm to federal agents. That narrative is contradicted by the video evidence that shows Pretty filming federal agents during an enforcement operation before a scuffle ensues, leading to his killing.
Legally, ICE agents are allowed to use force, but that has to be a reasonable degree of force. And the same use of force laws apply to ICE officers as they apply to any federal law enforcement officers. For example, deadly force, such as firing a gun, may only be used when it is in response to an imminent threat of deadly force used by someone else. So, broadly speaking, ICE officers do have legal authority to use force when conducting arrests, but are still limited by the requirement that that force be reasonable and proportionate.
Social media post, President Donald Trump blamed Democratic-run sanctuary cities and states for refusing to cooperate with immigration and customs enforcement operations, accusing them of encouraging left-wing agitators to unlawfully obstruct operation, views echoed by this commander in the field.
When politicians, community leaders, and some journalists engage in that heated rhetoric we keep talking about, when they make the choice to vilify law enforcement, calling law enforcement names like Gestapo, or using the term kidnapping, that is a choice that is made. There are actions and consequences that come from those choices. And then when someone chooses to listen to a politician, a so-called journalist, a community leader that spouted that type of vilification towards law enforcement or anything else, when you choose to listen to that, that is a choice, and there are consequences and actions there also.
With trust between federal and local and state enforcement at an all-time low, amid concerns that federal authorities continue to block state officials from investigating how federal agents killed 2 U.S. citizens under contested circumstances.
We've come together, and we're here to announce a lawsuit we're filing against the United States Department of Homeland Security to end the unlawful, unprecedented surge of the federal law enforcement agents into Minnesota. Because this has to stop. It just has to stop. The courts to end the DHS unlawful behavior in our state. The intimidation, the threats, the violence. We ask the courts to end the tactics on our places of worship, our schools, our courts, our marketplaces, our hospitals, and even funeral homes.
2 federal court hearings Monday will further ventilate whether state law enforcement gains access to the federal investigation into Pretty's killing, and whether Operation Metro Surge is a threat to public safety and should be halted. In a statement, former President Barack Obama called the killing of Alex Pretty a heartbreaking tragedy, warning that it was a wake-up call to every American that many of their core values as a nation were increasingly under assault. He said Americans expected federal agents to carry out their duties in a lawful manner that ensured public safety. Amplifying those sentiments, former President Bill Clinton said that what was playing out in Minneapolis was unacceptable and urged everyone who believed in the promise of American democracy to stand up and demonstrate that the nation still belonged to the people. Chauvin Briceby's SABC News, New York.